damage anything, firstly, but these are dual-purpose bikes, CBR 500 or CB 500X, which is the dual-purpose.
Oh, cool. I thought, at the first glance, I thought these were like 700...
No, there's a 700 which is almost identical to it. A little bit taller though, and
so essentially this has the same engine
as
mine.
Yeah, this is the exact same engine, same frame, just I think slightly adjusted. The main difference is the body weight.
Right, okay, that's
and
cool.
it's also got a longer travel.
For suspension.
Yeah, than your typical. So this is more upright. So when I hop on this, my back's more postured upright.
Yep.
And my arms are extended a little bit downwards, but fairly straight.
I'd say your feet are sort of in line with your body.
Exactly.
So
it's got the same sport bike feeling downwards, but upwards is
yeah, and the handlebars are sort of tilted towards you as well. They're not like right here.
And these are what they call like handlebars, where there's also clip-ons, which sport bikes usually have.
Right.
Which we'll show you on this. This is the CBR 500.
You don't say. You don't say. It's the best bike out here, anyways.
Stan's got one, so that's why he says that. But you'll notice my body's more forward, very slightly on this bike specifically.
Yep.
I would call this a sport bike, or you can call it a standard bike. But it's got the full fairings.
And your feet are a bit further back. Maybe I'm imagining this, but
a little bit.
A little bit, just a little bit, yeah.
Because that's what gives you that sort of forward posture.
Exactly.
And they handle almost the same. This is more for touring, so longer riding. There's more attachments to this one, where you can put bags, you can put a top box. This one limits it a little bit.
This does look like an adventure bike to me.
Exactly, that's what it is.
What I do like about both of these, obviously, is the engine. The engine is just amazing.
Yeah.
Smooth,
very smooth.
It's very smooth, and even with the loud as exhaust that I have on mine, it's still very smooth and just amazing.
I would agree. And there's also the F, which is the Street Fighter edition of it, like the naked.
Yeah.
And these are the 250s, really nice starter bikes. These would also be a sport or standard bike.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I have had one for 2 years and it served me really well, except, you know, you grow out of every bike, I guess, at some point in your life. So, what I'm trying to say is start small and
work your way up.
When you, and I think the point, well, at least my 2 cents, you should start thinking about a new bike when you can push your bike to the limits safely.
Yeah.
Right?
And pushing a bike to the limits is not going as fast as you can in a straight line.
Exactly. We're not talking about straight lines. We're talking about...
This is what they call a Supersport. So this is the CBR 2013 CBR 600 RR.
Definitely a nice looking, sexy bike.
If you come from the side, I just want them to get the angle. So you notice how on the cruiser I was more like this with my back being back a little bit.
Yeah.
On the sport tourings or the dual purpose, I was more like this, and now I'm bent over. So this is where the theory is that it's bad on your back. However, from experience, I found more back pain riding a cruiser. The reason is, my theory is, when your legs are extended and you're sitting like this, you get to slouch. Because all the weight is more on your pelvis, and S4, S5, which is a certain part of your spine.
Yep.
And it's almost you're compressing your back with nowhere to exit from. On a sport bike, if you ride it properly, in my opinion, it shouldn't hurt your back at all. Because what's supposed to happen is your thighs are supposed to grip the tank, your arms are loose. So my back is technically straight. All the pressure is going down my back to my thighs, to my feet, which are pressing against the foot pegs.
And your back is serving as a sort of another shock absorber, essentially.
That's when you take a bump, if I'm approaching train tracks, I lift up.
Yep.
A lot of people, what they do is they ride like this. So you'll notice how their legs are loose and their arms are locked, straight locked. That's why you get a lot of wrist pain.
Yep.
It's not the bike that does it, it's your riding position that does it. So if I loosen up tight here, you'll notice how loose I can be on the handlebars.
It's very true.
A lot of people can't pull tight U-turns because they're locked like this. And every time they try to accelerate, they feel the bike tipping over when they need to loosen their arms to have more control.
Gotta have to let the bike do the work for you, not the other way around. But
don't try to control the bike, become one with the bike.
Yeah, one more point I just want to make. This bike will give you more workout and more bang for the buck for your money. Reason why? Because you actually, if you ride it to work like I do, well, I'm not riding this one, but my position is fairly sporty. In the morning, there's an hour, you know, back home is another hour, and I feel my legs are really working out because I'm holding with them.
Legs and abs.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel in their back,
and that's
because they're slouching like this and pushing on their. So they feel every bump onto the back.
And I don't have any wrist pain, and my handlebars are just a tad higher, but literally just a tad.
And this is what a clip-on is compared to the handlebar. Is pretty much each metal piece is directly attached to the fork, which is this tube right here, which acts as your front suspension.
Yep.
In a handlebar, there will be a clamp here that clamps onto like one solid metal piece.
Right.
That'll be what they call a handlebar. You'll see it on dirt bikes. Wow.
Talking about dirt bikes, and we're walking past the scooters. For those of you who are into scooters, and maybe you're into lawnmowers, you can also ride those if you're very skillful.
So the dirt bike's a little bit different in terms of suspension is a key riding position, but it's almost like a dual sport bike, but the suspension's a lot softer, longer travel, because you're taking more bumps and you're more designed controlling a spin out compared to on the street you're trying to maintain traction.
And the tires are obviously made for
knobbies, exactly.
Dirt and mud.
They're spoked rims instead of cast aluminum or whatever.
Essentially, it's a bike you could repair on a daily basis depending on how often you ride. All right, so this was awesome. Thank you so much for helping me out today. All right.